Hi, this is Andy from Tennis with Andy. So today I'm going to talk about the topic, should women be using the lighter duty balls for the US Open? And if you don't know, the women have been using different balls than the men for the US Open. It's the only Grand Slam to do that. So this has been a controversial topic, and especially in the last few weeks. Iga Swiatek, the world number one, has really been critical of the fact that they're using different balls than the men. So the theory around it is that the lighter balls, the regular duty balls, are supposed to be easier on the arm, which I feel like they are easier on the arm. And then also they fly faster, so a lot faster than the extra duty balls. So I think this, somebody please fact check me on this, but this was implemented sometime in the 2000s, and I'd love to know what the original reason was, whether it was to help reduce the number of arm injuries for the ladies, or was to increase the pace of the game. Either way, I think, in my opinion, I think it's not valid now. If you look at the WTA top 30, these ladies could absolutely smash and crank the ball. The likes of Swiatek, Sabalenka, Badosa, Coco Gauff, I mean, they could just really crush the ball. So number one, I don't think there's any need for extra help from the ball. And number two, if the intent was to reduce injuries, players are going to compensate. And I mean compensate not necessarily in a good way. So if the ball is flying fast, then you're either going to do a couple of things with your equipment. You could increase the tension of your string, again making it tighter and potentially harder on your arm. Or you could do what Ash Barty did, which was, I think she switched from some gut-based hybrid to more poly focus, whether it was full poly for using for the US Open. And we all know that if you're switching strings, at least I know as a racket and string tester, if you're constantly switching strings and rackets, then it's not good for your arm. So probably also not good for your game. But she, I mean, that's an extreme case where she actually switched from gut for the US Open just to get control. And so both Swiatek has said that, like, the fact that they don't have these balls available for practice, like you can't, at least in her home, she couldn't go and just buy the women's regular duty balls, US Open balls. So she's practicing with the men's balls, and she comes to a tournament and has to play with regular duty. So that's a big change, and it's. In my opinion, it's not something that the player should have to go through. Badosa, I think she also mentioned that, like, the balls are flying and it's leading to more erratic tennis. And so that's on the tennis level, and like even the guys have commented on this in the past too. And it was more of like, I think there were two cases, one with Andy Murray and then another with another Andy Roddick. So Andy Murray, I believe in the 2016 Miami Open, he was handed, in mid-match he was handed one of the ladies' balls. So I think it was marked with red as opposed to marked with black, which was for the men. And so he complained immediately to the ump about the ball, that he was going to use it. And I think he mentioned that, like, the past two points that he'd hit the ball long, and saying that, you know, these balls are significantly lighter and they play different than the men's balls, the extra duty. And even with Andy Roddick, can't remember what tournament it was, but he was basically saying that, like, he asked for like 4 or 5 balls from the ball kids, and then he just feels which one feels the lightest, and then he serves with that. So it turned out that he got one of the women's balls by accident. And actually, not really by accident. One of the women's balls just happens to be a mix, and then he correctly identified, okay, this is the lightest one, and then he used that to serve. So that's from a guy's perspective, right? Even the guys notice it, and I'm really interested in what your comments, what your take on this is. And guys, like, please let me know what your comments are. Please be respectful as always. But more important for me, ladies, I'd love to hear what you think. Especially if you're a high level lady, if you've played college or you're playing futures, or if by some chance you're playing the U.S. Open and you stumbled by Tennis with Andy, and you wanted to subscribe and listen, let me know what you think. Should ladies be using the regular duty balls, or should they be using the extra duty balls, or should guys also be using the regular duty balls? Let me know what you think. All right, this is Andy from Tennis with Andy. Play smarts and see results.